Patrick Mahomes is 30 years old. He already has more Super Bowl wins than 99% of quarterbacks who ever lived. And there are people, smart people, former NFL coaches, Hall of Famers, who say he's not even in his prime yet. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds of facts. And by the end of those 60 seconds, you're going to question everything you thought you knew about the greatest quarterback debate in sports history. Stay with me, because the answer is not what you expect. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. 7. That number is the entire argument for most people. They say it and they sit back like the conversation is over. But here's what they don't say in the same breath. Brady played 23 seasons to get those 7. Mahomes, in roughly 1/3 of that time, already has 4. Do the math. At the same pace, Mahomes would finish with 12. 12 Super Bowl rings. Now your brain just broke a little. Good. Hold that feeling. We're going deeper. Who these men actually are. Tom Brady, born 1977, drafted 199th overall. A player so underwhelming at the NFL Combine that 6 quarterbacks were taken before him. He wasn't supposed to be anything. He became everything. 6 rings in New England, 1 in Tampa Bay, at 43 years old, retired at 45. Patrick Mahomes, born 1995, drafted 10th overall, identified, scouted, and handed a $500 million contract before he turned 27. 4 Super Bowls already, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, the only quarterback in NFL history to win 3 Super Bowl MVPs before age 31. These two men are not the same kind of story, and that difference right there is where the whole debate lives. Wait, hold on. Brady didn't just win. Brady won across different eras, different rosters, different coaches, different rules. In the early 2000s, defensive backs could physically mug receivers 5 yards off the line. It was a different game, harder for quarterbacks. Brady dominated that version of football. Then the rules changed. The league opened up. Passing numbers exploded across the board. And Mahomes arrived in the most quarterback-friendly era in NFL history. Does that make his numbers less impressive? Maybe. Or maybe dominating your era, whatever era you're in, is exactly what greatness looks like. We'll come back to that. Okay, stop scrolling. I'm talking to you directly for 10 seconds. You have a position on this debate. You walked in with it. And here's the honest truth. A big part of that position is about what age you are and which era you grew up watching. If you're over 35, Brady feels sacred. You watched him live. You felt those games in real time. If you're under 30, Mahomes feels inevitable. He's the quarterback of your football lifetime. Neither of those is wrong, but neither of them is objective either. Keep watching, because the part that actually matters is coming. Who really wins when it counts? Fourth quarter, game on the line, under 2 minutes. Who do you want? Brady's fourth quarter numbers in elimination playoff games are historically elite. His passer rating in final drive situations across his career is one of the highest ever measured. He slowed down when the moment tried to speed him up. That's genuinely rare. But Mahomes, in Super Bowl 54, was down 10 points in the fourth quarter. He didn't panic. He didn't force throws. He methodically took Kansas City down the field twice and won. Super Bowl 57, last possession, everything on the line. Harrison Butker hits the field goal. Mahomes put him in position. Super Bowl 58, overtime, first team with the ball. Mahomes answered. The man has been in 5 Super Bowls. He's won 4. The one he lost, Super Bowl 55, the Tampa defense was historically good, and Kansas City's offensive line was decimated by injury. He didn't lose that game. He got beat by a better situation. There's a difference. But wait, Brady lost Super Bowls too. Super Bowl 42, the New York Giants, David Tyree's helmet catch, the undefeated season, gone. That loss is now considered one of the greatest moments in NFL history, and somehow it made Brady's legacy larger because he came back. He kept winning. He proved the loss didn't define him. Super Bowl 52, Brady threw for 505 yards. 505, the most passing yards by any quarterback in Super Bowl history. He lost anyway because Nick Foles had the game of his life. You can play perfectly and still lose. Brady understood that. Mahomes is learning it. And here's the thing about losing. It's actually part of what makes a legacy real. Anyone can win when everything goes right. The greats win even when it shouldn't be possible, and they absorb the losses without breaking. Both of these men have that quality. Here's where smart football people genuinely disagree. Side 1. Brady played in a harder defensive era. Rules allowed more physical coverage. Defenses could do things that are now illegal. Brady thrived anyway. That's harder. That counts for more. Side 2. Mahomes plays in a harder competitive era. NFL parity is more extreme now. Salary cap management is tighter. Building a dynasty in 2024 is structurally more difficult than it was in 2003. Kansas City has done it anyway. That counts for more. Both arguments are legitimate. Both arguments are also convenient conveniently chosen by the side that benefits from them. Brady people choose the defensive era argument. Mahomes people choose the parity argument. We don't have a clean way to compare across eras. We never have, in any sport. The thing nobody wants to admit. Here's what Brady people privately acknowledge and rarely say publicly. The throws Mahomes makes, the physical ability, the arm talent, the improvisation, it's on a different level. Brady was not an elite athlete. He was a slow twitch, high IQ quarterback who maximized every resource available to him. His pocket presence, his decision making, his football intelligence, all of it was elite. But physically, he was ordinary by NFL standards. Mahomes has a release from every arm angle. He throws accurate passes off his back foot that most quarterbacks can't complete standing still. NFL Films has documented throws from him that coaches use as examples of something that shouldn't be physically possible. Does raw talent make you greater? Not automatically. But when you combine Mahomes' physical gifts with his clutch performances and his rings, you start to wonder if what we're watching is the ceiling of the position. Not just the best ever, the best that it's possible to be. 4 Super Bowls. That's where Mahomes is right now. 3 more and he ties Brady. At his current pace, 4 rings in 9 seasons, he needs roughly 7 more years to statistically project to 7 rings. That puts him at 37. Brady played until 45. Mahomes could, mathematically, theoretically, based on current trajectory, end his career with 10 or 11 Super Bowl appearances, potentially 7 or 8 wins, now. A lot has to go right for that. Injury, roster continuity. Andy Reid isn't getting younger. Kansas City's window, as dominant as it's been, isn't infinite. But here's what's wild. When Brady was 30, he had 3 rings. He went on to win 4 more. When Mahomes is 30, he has 4 rings. The starting point is already higher. Let's just put the core stats side by side without emotion. Career passer rating. Mahomes leads Brady by a significant margin. Touchdown to interception ratio. Mahomes leads Brady. Completion percentage above expectation. Mahomes leads Brady. Playoff wins before age 30. Mahomes leads Brady. Super Bowl wins at current career point. Mahomes leads Brady. Super Bowl MVPs. Mahomes leads Brady. Super Bowl wins total. Brady leads Mahomes by 3. Career longevity. Brady leads Mahomes by 14 years. Season MVP awards. Brady leads Mahomes by 1. That's the scorecard right now. And what it tells you is that if career endpoint is the measuring stick, Brady wins, currently and possibly forever. But if the measuring stick is peak quality, efficiency, and rate of achievement, Mahomes is already ahead. Which metric you choose tells you more about your values than it does about the players. The ending. No answer, bigger questions. So, is Mahomes better than Brady? Right now, honestly, we can't say yes with certainty, and we can't say no with certainty. What we can say is this: Mahomes is the only player in NFL history who is actively threatening to make the Brady question feel smaller. And the fact that we're even having this conversation at 30 says everything about how rare he is. Brady needed 23 seasons to build his case. Mahomes is making his case in real time. And here's the question that should actually terrify you if you're a Brady fan. What if Mahomes isn't even in his prime yet? What does the peak of Patrick Mahomes look like? And are we ready for what it means if it ends up somewhere we've never been before? The debate isn't over. It's just getting started. If you watched this whole thing, you already know you care about this more than you thought you did. Subscribe.